You know, it's funny. Most of our world's problems can be divided into simple little algorithms. Little tiny solutions we have just to fix whatever's wrong with our lives, and then just applying it and just doing the same thing over and over and over until suddenly we finally have the results we want. That's not true of everything in our life, but that's definitely true of some things. And it's weird to see that applied in certain places. For example, a Rubik's Cube. Like this one I'm solving. This is old, so this one will take a while. Sorry, it doesn't even shift very well. But for example, Rubik's Cubes. They have... I solved this with only like 8 algorithms, following a guide I found online, and I figured out how to do it, and it's just... There's a method to the madness. And it's so weird to think of it that way, but it's totally true. And there is no other way to think about it that is quite as accurate as that. So it is weird, because there seriously, in our world, there are patterns that, even though we may not know they exist alright. And if we don't follow them, that's when things start to go awry. And there's those of us who like to swim against kind of the stream of what the world tells us we should do. Those people are kind of like me, in that they feel like, you know what, my opinion is important, and I want to live my life the way I desire to live it, which is kind of how I like to view life. A little less extremist in my opinion, the way that I like to view life, but it's still a general concept. But it is kind of just interesting, because even those who conform, they can find loopholes. It is amazingly hard to talk and Rubik's Cube at the same time. The first time I ever solved a Rubik's Cube, for those of you who are curious, was 2 nights ago at 2 a.m. in the morning. I just picked it up, went online, found a guide, and here I am today. Let's go do that. That'll work. It's funny because it's a total thing of just mathematical patterns. That's all it is. It's mathematical pattern after mathematical pattern. Which tells me that those who love math would probably find this toy very entertaining. But looking at that, all I've done, I have followed 2 simple patterns. Like, for example, this one. Well, here we go. You guys can see this. There's a corner down here, and I need it to be up here. And I need to not disrupt the majority of the rest of the cube. So, what I can do is follow a simple pattern called right, down, right, inverse, down, inverse, and follow it a few more times. It's so difficult on this cube. I would be halfway through on my normal cube at this point, because we're probably at 3 minutes, and I'd be at least halfway through at this point. But no, it just takes me a little longer than this. Anyway, so just following simple algorithms, I can get things into places where I need them to be. And sometimes life is totally that way. Other times, no, life could not be any more difficult. And that's when life truly gets, actually, in my opinion, entertaining. That's the fun part of life, is when you don't quite know exactly what's going to happen, and you just have to go with the flow. That doesn't happen to me a whole lot, but I certainly enjoy the moments where it does, because it makes life so much more exhilarating. I know I certainly have had, I actually probably have a lot more moments that way than I think I have, that are just like, what the heck is going on with my life right now? But I know I certainly feel like I'm going crazy right now, but that's a different discussion for a different time. Although it is a fun one to have. So, once again, it is amazingly hard. If you have ever solved a Rubik's Cube, you probably at least partially agree with me when I say that it's kind of difficult to multitask in such a fashion. It's not that difficult, but it's, especially when you're dealing with a jammed cube, it doesn't want to react the way you want it to. It's just kind of painful. Well, it's a good thing to get your anger out on, because I'm just twisting this thing as hard as I can. There we go. And I have to flip that one away. So it's a very interesting process, this entire... the way that the world works in general is just kind of amazing when you think about it. I'm going to be really philosophical right now, like I just am being. The world is pretty flippin' amazing. I don't know why the world's so amazing. There are those who will say Jesus. There are those who will say because that's the way science works. There are those who will say flying hippopotami. The last group are probably pretty far off base. That's okay, because everyone is entitled to their own opinions. That's all that matters. Is that everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe. Look at that, following a few more simple algorithms, and already another layer done. That's so crazy. I love this thing. Well, I hate this cube. This cube is really, really old. But that's okay. And now we're going to follow a front, right, up, front. And that part's good. Okay, we'll match up the rest of the cube while I continue narrating to myself about how weird this is. I whine a lot, I'm sorry. I'm good at that. It's really easy for me to whine. So that's just the way I am. This one's go there. That one goes there. Oh wait, no, too far. And now this goes down. And this one goes here. This one goes here. And that one goes there. And that one. Yeah. Let's do that. Goes right there. Okay. And voila. A little bit more progress made. Making progress ever vigilantly. And I'm almost there. And I have no idea where the time is right now, but I know that it's going. Time's moving faster than I'd like it to. I blame this cube so much. But so once again, as I said earlier, we get a little bit back on track because I think I can. Yeah. So life is full of simple little tricks that I wish there were more of them because it would make life a heck of a lot easier. But it also kind of, if that were true, then we would have the exhilaration of living life the way that we do. Which it is, as much of a hassle as life can feel like it is sometimes, it really is worth it. There's no way to look at it otherwise. Life is totally worth it. I personally don't believe that there's any other way to look at it, at least. I mean, there are probably those out there who have come up with solutions that they deem fit, that I would just say you're crazy, but those people. So, life has algorithms. Life is like a Rubik's Cube. However, life isn't like a Rubik's Cube. There are certain things in life that we just can't solve just using our minds. It's just the way the world works, unfortunately. Everything in our lives has its own little issues and separate penalties and etc. But there are certain things we can do with our lives that are predicated and are predictable, that follow specific patterns that if we do just keep doing them over and over, we will be insane. Like Einstein says, expecting different results, but maybe we aren't expecting different results. Maybe we're expecting the exact same thing to happen over and over again. Maybe that's why some people just continue to get themselves beat up day after day over something that is silly. It's just because maybe they expect the same thing. Maybe they're not insane. Maybe they really just feel like that's what they have to do. I don't know. People are weird, but all I know is if life were completely like a Rubik's Cube, I would be a master. Not one of the best masters, but I would be pretty good. Because once I see those patterns and latch onto them, I tend to be pretty good at it. But unfortunately, life isn't like a Rubik's Cube, so we just gotta deal with these things as they come. So, with all that said, that's the end. Later, guys.